Hi everybody, this is Michelle of Operation Be Fit. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use mason jars, how to pack a salad in a mason jar. This is going to be for the tall one, and how to create a yogurt parfait in the smaller one I have. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. Before we get into that, I am going to talk a little bit about preparing your food. So I spent a lot of time preparing all of my meals for the next week or so. So for example, I have my kale here that I'm going to use for my salad, and my kale has been kind of saturated in olive oil. Along with that, I've used my 21 seasoning salute, and if anybody who's on my Facebook, I took a picture of 21 seasonings and talked a little bit about it. It's sodium free. I really love it. It has all these different herbs, and I just really like to use it in different items, my soups, my salads, what have you. I also cut up some carrots for myself. I also have very tiny little baby mason jars. So I have my red onions here and my garlic in the other. I'm not finished cutting up my garlic, but I want it to kind of get started. I have my peppers. So I have my yellow, my orange, my red peppers that I'm going to use in my salad. I have my tomatoes, my cherry tomatoes. I have my beans that I'm going to use in my salad. And these beans have, some items in it. I use, again, Trader Joe's. I'm a Trader Joe's girl. I'm using the Cuban style black beans out of a can. I do rinse them off carefully. I also have some pomegranates that I've actually peeled. I cut the pomegranate and took the seeds. And I also have sunflower seeds. I like jars. So as you can tell, I have different types of jars. I'm not going to show you all the jars that I have to the side, but I do like jars. So that's what I have. That's what I'm going to show you in a second. But first, let's talk about the salad and how we would layer the salad. It's really, really important to look carefully at what you're putting in the salad. So at the bottom, it's usually the salad dressing. And then you're going to put like the hard veggies in there. The hard veggies like the carrots, the cucumbers, the peppers. Then, or in the tomatoes. I put the tomatoes there. Some people like to put the tomatoes at the top, but because I have cherry tomatoes, I like that they get saturated a little bit with my salad dressing. So I use that. The next layer could be beans. So I have beans that I'm going to use. If you use cheese or proteins, any kind of meat, tuna, chicken, what have you, that can be the next layer. And then you can have your softer veggies, your softer fruits. If you wanted to add strawberries or pomegranates or that kind of thing, you would put that there. I also use this place to put my onions in. I put my onions there sometimes, and my garlic. I don't really use my garlic in my salads as much as I use my onions. So again, that might kind of go right in the middle. And then that next layer could be your nuts or your seeds. Like I'm going to be using sunflower seeds. You can use walnuts. You can use anything in that. And then finally would be your salad green. So like my kale. My kale will be at the top. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? I hope so. So that's for your salad. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First things first is your salad dressing. So I made a mixture with my salad dressing, a really quick homemade recipe. All I use is balsamic vinegar, olive oil, a little bit of rice vinegar, and of course my 21 seasonings. So I use that. And then what I'm going to do is add this, not all of it, but some of this. I'm going to add this mixture into the bottom of my jar. So I'm going to add that about here. That's about enough. Just so you guys know, I eyeball a lot of things. So if you're asking me how much I've used for balsamic vinegar or what have you, I honestly couldn't tell you that. Probably maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of each. I'm really guessing. I'm going to have to do a lot better with that. So here's my salad dressing at the bottom. The next thing I want to add is my hard veggies. So I'm going to add my cherry tomatoes. And I'm just going to do that till they kind of fill up. I like cherry tomatoes, so I'm going to use a lot. So there's my layer. And then I'm also going to add my carrots at this point. So I'm going to add a few of my carrots to this. Okay, so I'm starting to make a little bit of a layer. And then at this point, I can, you know, if you have anything that you wanted to add, you know, if you have cucumbers. I have peppers, so I'm going to break these peppers up a little bit and add those in. If you had anything else, like cucumbers, I don't really eat cucumbers. I like to break mine in half, so that's just one of my little idiosyncrasies I like. So I've added that. And then at this point, you can add your beans or your grains or your pastas. I'm going to add my beans. So I'm going to add my beans. And of course, I love beans, so I'm going to add a good amount of beans to that. Hope everybody can see what I'm doing. Hold it up. Okay, so I'm adding my beans. Okay. So if you wanted to add fruit to your salads, you could. I'm going to add a little bit of the pomegranates because I like the pomegranate. So I'm just going to take a handful because my hands are clean. I'm going to add my pomegranates. And there's my pomegranates. And what I did forget is my onions. So I'm going to add a little bit of onions at this point as well. I just love the smell of onions, raw red onions. And I'm making a mess over here. And there's my onions. All right. So I've added my onions. Next thing I want to do is I want to add my nuts. So here's my nuts. So I want to add my nuts. And there you have it. There's my nuts. I'm going to add some more pomegranates just because. And then finally, I'm going to add my kale. So here's my kale. And I'm going to smush this in. So as you see, it kind of goes down a little bit. So I'm going to add that in because I want as much of the lettuce, as the kale that I possibly can fit in here. So I'm going to smush that in because I love kale too. And kale is a good source of protein for you plant eaters who just are have a plant-based diet. Kale has a lot of protein. So I'm stuffing that in. I know it seems like a lot, but I love big salads at lunchtime, especially after a long day of teaching. I teach during the day, so I'm stuffing this in as much as I can. I think this is just about it. So it looks really pretty. If you look at it, it's really pretty. So once I do that, I'm just going to take my top. And some people, if you have one of those sealers, you can do that if you want. I've never found a problem with it, so I'm just going to seal it. I'm just going to put it tight. And there you have it. There's my salad in a jar. So we've done that, okay? So there's your salad in the jar. What's next that we're going to do? All right. The next item that we're going to do, once we have our salad, we're going to do our parfait. So I'm going to start with my Greek vanilla. And I'm just going to take a spoonful of that and put it in the bottom so it fits. And I'm going to mix mine. I'm going to use different variety of veggies, of fruit. So I'm going to put my strawberries. I'm going to grab strawberries and put my strawberries in here. I'm just going to kind of push those in a little bit. And if you want, you can put chia seeds in here too. I have chia seeds. I might do that after. I'm going to use a little bit of my pomegranates and put those in there as well. Then I'm going to put more parfait. Now you can do this however way you feel comfortable with, okay? So I'm going to do more of that. And I'm just filling this up. And again, with it, when it comes to the parfait, when you're making this little, yogurt and fruit breakfast, this is going to be for your breakfast, you can decide what you want in it and how much you want. I'm going to try pineapples this time. So here's my pineapple. So I'm filling up my pineapples. I'm filling this up with pineapples. Hey, my son just came in. So I'm filling that up. He's probably like, what is she doing? He knows I'm just recording for you guys. All right, so there's my pineapples, and then I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of the yogurt at the top. This is a really good breakfast. You can take it to go, like, if you are in a rush, like I am always in the morning. I have so much to do. I usually take this and try to eat this right before class. So I'm trying to make it pretty, but probably get the, see if I can show you. There you go. And then just for, as I like to say, kicks and giggles, I'm going to put a little bit of the pomegranates on the top just to make them kind of cute. And if you want, and this is completely optional, this is granola. And this granola, you can get granola anywhere. I just tell you to read, what the calorie intake on it, what the calories on this. I think mine is kind of high, so I just definitely have to be careful not to use too much. It's about 200 calories, and I believe in half a cup. So I'm going to be real careful with this and not use too much of this. But here's your options. You can sprinkle this at the top of your parfait if you want. I don't do this. I actually put mine in a baggie so that I can sprinkle on it a little bit after I open it, only because it can get a little soggy, and I don't like soggy granola. It doesn't taste good to me. So I'm going to seal this up as well. And like I said, with a mason jar, if you have one of those things, I can't remember the name of it, that can seal it, and you want to do that, that's totally fine. I find that once I put this top on, it seals it right up. There you have it. You have 2 items. These are items that you can take with you. Do they get heavy? Well, they're no heavier than you carrying your lunch anywhere else. Do you need to be careful? Absolutely. What I suggest is wrapping it up in a plastic bag and then putting it in an insulated lunch bag so that you don't break these or damage these or anything like that. I leave them in the refrigerator. How long? I leave them in for a couple of days. So I try to make a few of these so that I have them for at least 2 or 3 days. And then I probably will do another, more of them maybe Wednesday. So there you have it. This is your salad. And there's your salad. And there's the salad dressing at the bottom, soaking the tomatoes are soaking them up really well with your carrots, your green peppers, your beans, your pomegranates, your onions, your nuts, and your kale. And then here's your morning